Alright guys, we are back at it again with 944 problems. Now this is officially the new year, so happy new year everyone. But as you can hear, the 944 is running right now for good reason. The battery dies. So I just installed a new diehard battery. It's not the battery's fault, trust me. The fans actually are just staying on again. So I had this problem before, it was the thermofan switch. I'm assuming it's the same thing now that it was then. I hope it's the relay, that way I can just, you know, replace the relay and it would be easy. But it's kind of a weird relay, it's like a double, like huge relay, so it's probably not easy to find, nor is it cheap. So I don't know which is the best way to hope for, but it's probably the thermofan switch. Basically, whenever I turn the car off, the fans on the 944s usually stay on for a little bit, depending on if the engine's hot or not. But they're supposed to shut off after a few minutes. Mine was apparently running all night and I didn't know about it. I got in the 944, like after the last video, I got in the 944 to go to Liam's like I said I was going to, and it was entirely dead. And I'm like, oh. And my mom asked me earlier that day if the 944 was running, and I was like, no. And that's probably what she heard was the fans on. So that's the problem we're experiencing right now. But anyway, we're gonna take it off for a drive. Basically, whenever I stop, I'm just gonna have to take that relay out. It shuts the fans off whenever I do that. So we'll be good to drive it. It's just gonna be a little bit of an inconvenience. But I still want to drive it. I'm excited. So let's go ahead and get in the 944, guys. Yes. Gotta get my Evo lanyard in. Oh, yes. Back at home. Now this is also off again. It says January 1st, 2017. This clock actually didn't shut off this time, so that's awesome. Anyway, guys, let's go and hit the road. Granted, it's probably better that these fans stay on all the time instead of not come on at all, because then it would be a bad time of overheating again. So I'm glad that they're just staying on and running the battery dead instead of staying off and overheating the engine. That's definitely a much better solution, a much better problem to have, I should say. Honestly, I love driving this car so much. Like even at normal speeds, even at the normal speeds we're going right now, it's just, I don't know, I just love it. I really just love it. Now, honestly, I was thinking, honestly, this car, without the power steering, and being that it's basically 30 years old, how the gearbox feels, and like how mushy and sloppy it is, because of all that, this car honestly feels heavier than the Evo does, even though the Evo is actually like 500 pounds heavier than this. So I cannot wait until I can get like a proper steering rack and to fix up the gearbox a little bit and make this car feel like way sharper, along with the suspension. The suspension has a big part in that too. The Evo just feels way sharper to me than this car does. Until I can get some suspension on here, some proper suspension, some proper wheels and tires. Because with these wheels, okay, I love the wheels on the 944, I really do. But there's no tires available for them. Like in the size that they would need to be, there's like nothing. So I need to get new wheels so I can get good tires. And we'll be rolling. Different driving this car from the Evo, like acceleration wise. Not only is the Evo way faster, but the power is delivered way differently in the Evo. This is naturally aspirated, so I basically just kind of have a linear power band, whereas the Evo, there's not a ton of turbo lag in the Evo like there was like in the Dart, for example, but there is turbo lag. There is definitely noticeable turbo lag. But yeah, this car is still so much fun, guys. I honestly, the thought crossed my mind a couple times after driving the Evo when this was down with the dead battery to sell this. That exhaust rattle is driving me nuts. but the thought came across my mind to actually sell this. But in all honesty, like, it's my first car. There's nothing else I would have rather had, like, within the price range, obviously. I couldn't spend, like, $40,000 on a first car. But, like, there's literally nothing else I would have rather had than this car. And honestly, driving it again, I realized so much, like, how much I love it and how much I missed it. Car so much.